Understanding YouTube analytics will help you to grow your channel so much faster. But how do you even know how to read those analytics? And then how do you know what to do with what you've learned? That's exactly what we're going to talk about today in this beginner's guide to YouTube analytics. Stick around. It's the Video Marketing School. So the first thing we want to do is access your YouTube analytics on desktop by clicking on the profile icon in the right-hand side and click on YouTube Studio. And now you're in the channel dashboard. Although there's a lot of great content on this page, I really want you to focus over here on your latest video performance. And notice this ranking here. This video is ranking 3 out of 10, which means of my last 10 uploads, this is performing the third best. I teach my clients that every new video should be a 1, 2, or a 3 out of 10. If it's less than that, then you want to try to increase the video's visibility. We'll talk about how to do that later. For now, notice that my views are 187. I'm not really going to pay attention to my views right now because if I can fix my average view duration and my click-through, then my views will go up. It's very important. My click-through rate is 10.3 and my average view duration is 3 minutes and 53 seconds. Let's click on Go to Video Analytics to dig a little deeper. Wahoo! YouTube is starting to give us a ton of data and it's a little bit overwhelming. So in order to make sense of the data, I want you to focus on 3 core metrics: your traffic sources, your click-through rate, and your average view duration. Let's dig into those right now. The first thing I want you to do is click on Reach. From Reach, you'll scroll down to traffic source types, and you'll see here that YouTube search is bringing in 79.7% of all the traffic to this video. And that's exactly where I want to be. In fact, you want your traffic sources to be YouTube search, browse features, or suggested search. That's your goal every single time. And if you're not hitting those goals, then you'll want to implement a strategy to hit those goals. Back on the YouTube analytics screen, I can also see which words are bringing in the search traffic. And this helps me to understand what future videos I should be making. And when you make other videos that can rank for the same keywords, you create these binge watching sessions, which will really help your channel to explode. So now that you have a good understanding of traffic sources and what your goals should be, let's move on to your click-through rate. Your click-through rate measures how many times your video thumbnail appeared on someone's screen, and they call that impressions. The amount of people that actually click it is called your click-through rate. In this case, my click-through rate is 10.2%, which resulted in 145 video views and almost 4 full minutes in average view duration, or 9.55 hours in watch time from impressions. These are really important numbers, but the big thing I want you to focus on is 10.2. Look, your click-through rate should be as high as possible, and I've managed a ton of channels. We've seen that between 17 and 25% is really on the very, very high end, like top performing end of YouTube channels. And this is really going to be from channels that have hugely engaged audiences. When you're just starting out, your click-through rate could be as low as 3, and that may not be bad. It just often depends on your traffic sources. See, if your traffic sources are coming in from cold places, meaning people that have never heard of you before, your click-through rate will be lower. If, however, your traffic sources are coming in from the suggested video algorithm, which means these people have seen you before, it's likely you'll have a higher click-through rate. So if that wasn't confusing enough, let me share with you the bottom line. You should be shooting for a 10% click-through rate. And if you're getting less than 7, you should change the thumbnail to try to make it better. If you're coming in at around 7 or 8%, let it ride. It'll probably improve over time. If your thumbnail click-through rate is like 17%, well then hallelujah, baby. There's nothing for you to do. Just keep on moving. Let's move to the final metric in the big 3 and click on engagement, where we can view our audience retention. Audience retention refers to 2 different metrics. Number 1 is the average view duration, meaning what are the total minutes that eyeballs spent on average watching this video. In my case, it's 3 minutes and 49 seconds, which also equates to almost 70%. And that's the other metric in audience retention, is the average percentage viewed. down here underneath the video, you can see the watch time graph. Your goal should be to create a graph that is as straight a line as possible. All the dips and the peaks here, this is people logging out and fast forwarding through your video. And this graph allows us to identify the big dips in your watch time. For example, I can see these big dips right in the beginning here, which is telling me that the opening of my video is not very strong. I can also see some peaks here where my viewers fast forwarded, and I can get a clue that, my viewers really like it when I'm sharing the screen of my phone. So I can kind of go through the peaks here, and I can go through the dips, and I can see what type of content my audience likes and what type they don't like. So let's talk about your goals for audience retention and what you should be shooting for. At the end of the day, audience retention is an indication of how watchable your video is. If a whole lot of people log off and never come back, well, you had a pretty bad video. If you had a pretty straight line, it means people liked it and you should make more videos like it. So we teach our clients to shoot for at least 40% retention. But keeping a viewer's attention is a learned skill. Rarely are you going to just jump into a video and grab 70-80% video retention. More likely, you're going to start off by getting about 30% retention, and that's okay. Your goal should be 40 to 60%. That's a top performing video that will definitely get play in the YouTube algorithm. So my suggestion is you go back right now and look at your past couple of videos. You especially want to pay attention to the first 30 seconds of your video, because if you're losing a bunch of your audience, then what you need to do is improve the way you're starting your videos. And I made a whole training on how to do that. It's called Biggest Watch Time Mistakes. And you can click on that video right now to watch it, learn from it, grow from it, and I can't wait to see you there. I'm Owen. Click on the video now.